Assalamu alaikum, my lovely learners. How are you all? Welcome to Paramount Foundation e-learning platform. I'm your facilitator, Auntie Latifa, and I'll be taking you through rhyme endings, inshallah. I'll be taking you through rhyming endings. Now, before I start my class, there is this thing that I want to do. Is this sing or just like a poem? It's just this thing that we used to do when we were young, and I know you know it too. So I'm going to start. Paracetamol, aracetamol, racetamol, acetamol, cetamol, etamol, tamol, amol, mol, I know you liked it, and I know we all know this thing. Now, look at this. It's just one word. One word, and we just, as we are going to remove the first word from the word to create another word. Isn't it very nice? Like, isn't it creative? So today we are going to talk about how we form words. We are going to talk about word formation, but I will emphasize on rhyme endings. Now let's start. So, by the end of this lesson, the learner will be able to explain rhyming endings. You'll be able to explain what rhyming endings are, and also state at least 3 words with a similar rhyme ending. Okay? Now, let's first talk about word formation itself. Word formation refers to the ways in which new words are formed. Very easy. It's the ways in which we form new words. You can have maybe a certain letters there, but when you add another letter to it, it will give you a new word with a new meaning to it. Just like how we did our paracetamol. Even though the words do not have a meaning, but we have created another word. Haven't we? Yes, we have created a different word, even though it might not have a meaning to it. Now, examples of words we can form. Look at this. Okay, so let's look at this words. Imagine you were given a letter or maybe a word, an. You were given an. You can add a letter before the an or after the an to give you a different word, which has a different meaning also. So just like this, I added P to the letter and to get pan. And we all know what a pan is, right? A pan can be this pan that they use for cooking, or what's pan again? Let's just focus on the pan we use for cooking. So the last word, we added M to it, or we added to it to get a man. The word was an initially, but when I added the sound to it, I got man. And we all know who a man is. A man is like a boy who is grown. Okay, so the next word, fan. It was an, and we added to it to get fan. And we all know ceiling fans, or the hand fan that we actually use on our body when we are hot. Now let's talk about what rhyming endings are. Let's talk about rhyming endings. Rhyming endings are words that have the same endings. Like the sound at the end is the same. They are words with the same sounds, like same ending of the sound. Examples are pot. So the ending is ot. Like when you say the word, the ending should have this similar sound. Now let's look at the example and see whether all my examples have the same or similar sounds. The first example is pot, and the second is lot. Let's look at these 2 words, pot and lot. What is the difference in the words? The only difference we have in the words is the first letters we added to the words. The po and the po and the but the endings have the same sounds. It's only the first letters which change the sound of the words, and it has a different meaning. When we say pot, we have cooking pot we use for cooking, When we say lots, it's just a word we use to describe if something is more than one or many. Now let's look at the other examples. We have courts. So the only difference is the we have dots and gods. Now it all has the same sounds at the end. It's just the initial words which is different. So this is what we refer to as the rhyme ending. The rhyme endings have similar sounds at the end. Very easy, right? Now let's go to our next slide. We are going to discuss how we build rhyme endings. So you are given a word like an, and you are asked to develop this word for you to get the same sounds. Like you find a word which has the same ending, same sound at the end, but the initial sound will be different. And we have different examples here. We added to the an to get fan. We added to the man to get man. Po to the pan to get po to the ant to get pan, and to the van to get the ant to get van. Sorry. Now let's go to another example. We have the rhyme ending add. The sound at the end should be add. Let's look at the examples. First we have dad. I hope you all heard the sound at the end. Dad. We have that sound at the end, but the initial sound is do, giving us a dad, and the next example is sad. The initial sound is and it has the add at the end, which will give us the sad. And also mad here with as the initial sound and add as the rhyme end. So all these examples have the same sound, have the same sounds at the end. It has the same rhyme ending, which is add. I hope you all understood what I've talked about so far. So we talked about what we mean by word formation. We said word formation is just how we form new words, and rhyme ending is just words which have a similar sounds at the end. And I gave you example of sounds for you to develop it into different words, but you'll have the same rhyme endings. I hope you all understand. Now let's look at our assignment. This will be the end of our lesson. Let's look at our assignment. So our first assignment is use the ending sound N. Use the ending sound N to form 5 words. So you are going to form 5 words, but these words should have the same ending sound, the same rhyme ending. Like the ending should have the sound N. Should I give you an example? For instance, if I add to the sound N, I'll get men. The initial sound is but the ending is N. So give me examples of words which has the same rhyme ending, the same sounds at the end, which is N. Now the second one is you read out the formed words. So as you write the words, I'll be expecting your audio, hearing the sounds that you formed for me. And the last exercise is use the words to form a sentence. Now the words you just formed at number 1, the 5 words you formed. After you form the words, you read it out for me to listen to. Then you use the words to form 5 sentences. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here for my lesson, and inshallah I hope to see you for my next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Bye.